Hello and welcome back to the shop. I've been quite busy this week and I haven't had any time to do anything in the workshop at all. In fact, if you'd been here yesterday morning, you would have seen I would got a lot of stuff lying around here. I had to move a lot of stuff out the old shed which I've got to the front of the house, which is the north shed, and I had to put it in here because I started looking at doing some repairs over the weekend to the floor. It's a wooden shed. It's got a wooden floor and it had got a hole in the floor that was rotten through. And so what I did is I started cutting things out and I found the whole thing was rotten. And I thought, what can I do with this lot here? So I don't know, I'll cut the whole thing out. And I started doing that. And I was talking to one of the friends down at the Severn Valley Railway on Monday, talking to Brian. And he said, you're probably better off just getting a new shed. And he bought a shed from a company called Smith's near Market Drayton, which isn't too far from where I am. And I went round there yesterday. I thought, I need to do something. I'm not going to repair the shed. It's old, it's decrepit, it's probably 40, 50 years old. It's lasted really well, but it's deteriorating in many places. The floor, the walls, the roof, everything. So it's time to get rid of it. So I had a chat with the people over at Smith's. They're really good people. They've sent me through some quotes and I've told them to go ahead with it. So I've got to pay the deposit tomorrow. And they're quite reasonable prices, I thought. They looked a really good shed. There's a concrete base already under it, so we're going to utilise a concrete base. And the shed itself will be fastened down, because it's a wooden shed. It'll be fastened down to the concrete base. And that'll be quite satisfactory for what we need. Because I'd primarily like to use that shed for woodworking or just storing of general things. And I might move one or two things in here and there, especially now we're going to be sitting down on a concrete floor, proper floor. Alright, I thought we would go around and have a look at the shed, and I can show you what's what. It's in pretty poor state, but I'll go and show you what we've got at the moment. Alright, as you can see, this is the shed behind me here. So you can see it's pretty old, a bit decrepit. So we're going to have this removed, whole shed will go, and they'll build a new one in place. Let me show you inside, I'll show you the floor. Alright, this is the inside of the shed. You can see it's all wood lined. I've got some shelving on the back which I've put in, and I've got some shelving down the side here, but I've got no other features fastened down at all. I've got no bench or anything like that yet, but I intend to build a woodworking bench for in here. I've got the vise somewhere, there it is on the back wall in the shelf. Woodworking vise that we're going to use. Well, you can see this is just used for general storage at the moment. Let me just give you a bit of a look around. You can see I've got my sack truck, got my mower in the corner there, got my strimmer here, got my strimmer, I've got my tool drawers and things there, and this here is a DeWalt set of cordless tools. I've never ever used it. I must have had it 15 years. And it opened up, it's perfect inside. But what I did was, I thought I might need that for the first time ever to help cut this floor out where the hole is there. And I thought, well, I wonder if the batteries would be any good. Anyway, I put them on charged them both up, and they were perfect, so I was quite happy with that. But anyway, let's have a look around the rest of the stuff I've got in here. You can see I've got my pallet truck. I used this when I moved my machinery into the other shed. Really useful tool. And of course I've got my step ladder right in front of you there. And I've got all my timber I've stored there. And on this side here, we've got my step ladder which I built. So my step ladder, I've got my diesel cans down here which I use for my diesel heater in the workshop. So there we are. Alright, let me just turn you back round again. So the base of this here, well, it's concrete, there's a concrete base, but there's a wooden floor in here. And the floor extended all the way up to the edge here, but round about here it was actually rotten through. And if I stood on it, you'd feel the whole thing flexing, and when I cut it, I had to cut it out the floor. It was all rotten underneath, it was terrible. Rain's obviously worked its way underneath, water's come underneath and rotted the wood out, and bits there are still rotten. I thought, well, I've got to cut all that out, take all that out, get it all removed, get new stuff put in. It's a heck of a job. And I think then you might have to replace the windows, then you've got to do things with the roof. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. I thought, I need to do something with the shed, and I think it's time to replace it. So hence the need for me to get a new one on order. And it'll take about 6 to 8 weeks. And what we'll do, when we get closer to the time, I'll just take everything out. I'll clean everything out of the shed, and I'll have to put this, some of it will go, the vast majority of it will go in the other shed where the workshop is. So we won't be doing much in the workshop at that particular time when they put the new shed in. And then what I'll do is I'll get the concrete floor painted. I bought some paint, some garage floor paint, and I'll get that painted. And then what I might do as well is line it as well, so it'll take quite a bit of time to do all that. I'll line it just to insulate it. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But I need to get the shed replaced. It's no good as it is. I don't think it'll last too much longer. You can see it's a bit decrepit, cobwebs and all kinds all over it, so we'll get that done. Anyway, this is what I was doing over the weekend. I say today and yesterday I've spent a bit of time just trying to, well, having a look at getting a new shed, organising and sorting that out. So anyway, there we are, that's the shed. Let's go back into the other shed, the workshop. We'll have a chat about one or two other things. There you are, there's the other shed. And that's what we're doing with it. We're getting a new shed built, 6 to 8 weeks. Get one put in, get the floor sorted out, line it, do whatever we need to do. And then it's operational again. But this, I won't be able to do anything here, because obviously if I've got stuff stacked in here, we're not going to get at any of the machines or bench or anything like that. So we just got to get on with getting that shed sorted out. And then once it's done, we'll get everything cleared out, put in there. And then we've got our workshop back then. And what I might do as well is move some of the machines or some of the pieces of equipment from here into there, just to make a little bit more space in here. When I talk about equipment thing, maybe put the little bench press in there, maybe one or two other things. And I was looking, in fact I was talking with one of the neighbours yesterday, and he was looking at, he actually carves, he does all these wooden carvings, and he's just carved a heron, and a bird, it's quite a big bird, a heron is, and he wants some legs making out of steel, and he made some sort of dummy legs out of various bits of wire to show me what sort of shape and form the legs needed to take. And he wanted to know if I could weld the feet and the legs up for him, so he could then insert them into this heron, and he wants it freestanding in the ground. So it'll sort of stand on one leg with the other one up in a sort of a typical heron pose. So yeah, we'll do that. But what it means I've got to do is I've got to sort my TIG welder out, because I haven't got the TIG function sorted out on my Jasic welder yet. So I've been over to Stoke this morning. I've had a few things to do, and one of them was to go over to Stoke and have a chat with the people at Wers Welding. Is that Welding Instrument Repair Services? I think their headquarters are down in Wolverhampton, but they've got a depot over in Stoke, in Fenton. I was talking to the lad there, and he's going to sort me the fittings out, the gas fittings I need for the bottle and the back of the TIG unit, so I can connect the gas to it. That's the only thing I'm missing. Now we can start having a play with it. Obviously I haven't used the TIG function on it. It was a brand new unit about a year ago. It's quite a nice little unit. It does manual metal arc, and it does the TIG welding as well. But I was also interested in the possibility of a MIG welder as well, so he's getting me a price for a MIG welder too. So once I get that, perhaps I can get him on a cart or something of that nature. You know, I have both welders on a cart with a bottle attached to it. Really nice, neat, tidy unit. keep them all together, all the welding stuff together, and then I can move it. I'll probably store that in the other shed then, rather than have it in here. And then when I need it, I'll bring it out and put it in here, do the welding here. We can do it on our welding table down there. I don't fancy doing welding in the other shed or grinding or anything like that, just simply because it's a wooden shed. I know it's got a concrete floor, but it's still a wooden shed. And the thing is, this is a concrete shed. This is a prefab shed, but I've actually lined it with wood, so that sort of defeats my own statement, really. There you go. That's not a problem. But anyway, well, the other thing is I don't have power in that shed either. I've got power here, so that's a big thing. And what I wanted to do as well was do more woodwork and stuff in that shed, in the other shed. But anyway, there you are. So when I get the welder sorted out, the TIG welder sorted out, and then the neighbour's going to order some material to make these legs for the heron, we'll get that done hopefully sometime next week. But anyway, I did do some work, probably the end of last week, on the small hydraulic bench press. I've finished the 2 blocks off and they're on the bench over there. The general shape, the general blocks. I've still got to bore them out, screw cut them and drill holes and whatever, so we can fit it onto the machine, onto the bench press. What we will do as well, if we do move that into the other shed, we'll make a stand for that. And what I might do, what I fancy doing as well, is get myself a little fly press. Maybe I can make a little stand, table, or whatever you want to call it, and have both of them on. A little hydraulic one, and a little, not a big fly press, just a smallish one. Be quite a nice little unit to have. Always fancy getting one of them. It's just where would you put it, in here, you think, oh, I want this piece of equipment, that piece of equipment. It's nice to have them, but where the hell do you put them? And if you've got to start putting things under benches and stuff like that, every time you want to get it out, get a bit of lifting equipment or whatever, because it might be quite heavy, get it lifted up, put onto a bench, clear the space off, use it, and then you've got to take it off. Man, it's a crap way of working, that is. So if we could have something sort of dedicated and set up in the other shed, that'd be really good, that would. And I'd like to build a woodworking bench in there as well, as I've just mentioned to you. Okay, with this being the south shed, and the other shed being the north shed, I'm going to call this shed, or call it the north shed. That's going to be shed 5A, and this will be 5B. Now that 5A and 5B, they came from the British Rail shed codes. Each motive power depot in the whole of Britain was designated a number. So you'd have things like 5A, 5B, 88A or whatever it was, for all the different sheds around the country. So everybody knew it was, and the shed code was actually fitted on the smoke box door at the bottom on each locomotive. So everybody knew what the home shed of that locomotive was. So that way you ensured that the locomotive always ended up back in its own shed. Because that shed, that area, that region was responsible for that locomotive. What you didn't want is to send a locomotive off on a job, taking a train somewhere, and then everybody else using it, sending it back, and you've got to do all the repairs. Right, so this is going to be shed 5B. This will be in recognition of the work crew and the great stuff that they turned out. This will be shed 5B, so it's the south shed. The north shed is 5A, right? Because that crew, they actually had 4 sheds, believe it or not. There was Crew North, which was just to the north of the station. There was Crew South, which was just to the south of the station, where the Basford sidings and marshalling yards are. And just to the side of that, on the west side, was the Great Western Shed at Gresty Road. And on the right-hand side of the running line was the old North Staffs Railway Shed. And of course, the North-South sheds and the North Staffs Railway Shed, they came under the London Midland region Cresty Road was originally Great Western, but I think in the end it ended up coming under Crewe. It may have done, I can't remember now. But anyway, so this will be the south shed, so this will be 5B and the north shed's 5A. So if we say north shed and south shed in the future, you know what we're talking about. Actually, I've got a little shed at the side of the house as well, so I've got 3 sheds. And the small shed at the side of the house, that's where I keep my gardening tools. So we could call that the North Staff shed. But there you go. Anyway, there we are, that's a little update for you. When we get some more progress on our bench press, when I know a bit more details about the shed, I'll let you know what they are. Anyway, thanks for watching.